Sunday in Tokyo, where Shohei Ohtani, of course, he put on a show in the first exhibition game last night in the Tokyo Dome. A 2-run home run, part of a 5-run outburst in the third inning against Yomiuri Giants ace Shosei Togo. Now the Dodgers will play their second and final exhibition ahead of the 2025 Tokyo Series against the Chicago Cubs. Let's say hello from the booth inside the Big Egg next to Eric Karros. I'm Steven Nelson. We have Kirsten Watson with us as well. But EK, we were joking about it in the broadcast last night. It's like we would have been more surprised that Shohei not hit a home run last night.
Well, he certainly has a flair for the dramatic. I mean, it started earlier in spring training. In his first at-bat in the spring, he went deep. And then, of course, last night you're thinking, boy, that would certainly be exciting if he hit a home run. What did he do? He delivered again. What he does is, it's not surprising. Anything and everything he does, you just go, wow.
And Kirsten, as we check in with you down on the field, it seems there is no moment that this man will not meet. What was the reaction down on the field level, especially with the fans around you?
It was just electric. We were talking to Yoshinobu Yamamoto earlier, and he was asked about, what did you expect from Shohei in that first game back here? He said, honestly, yesterday morning, he assumed he was going to hit a home run. Of course, he did just that. Even Will Smith was like, I'm surprised it was in the second at-bat, not the first. And even when they asked Shohei Ohtani, did you have fun yesterday? He goes, yeah, of course. So it has been nothing but a good reaction, but also not so surprising down here for these guys.
No, just saw Shohei walk into the tunnel. He looks loose and ready to go, and he should be because he's leading off the game against the ace of the Hanshin Tigers when we come back on Sportsnet LA. Opened in 1988, modeled after the old Metrodome in Minnesota. It was Japan's first home stadium, and it has held host to a number of big events. And will be opening series in 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2019, and again here in 2025. Not just that, we've seen Mike Tyson fight here. NFL preseason games, concerts featuring the likes of Paul McCartney, the Rolling Stones, Michael Jackson, you name it. Well, EK, as the Dodgers have rolled into town this week, it felt like all of those bands and artists are here together at once, given how the people have been reacting to Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki, Doc Roberts and company.
It really has, and we've been welcomed. Everywhere we've gone, we've been embraced. And of course, you walk through the parts of this stadium, just the pictures of Dodger players, you see fans standing around taking pictures of the pictures. It has been something that I have never seen before, and we haven't even got to Tuesday and Wednesday's real ball games.
First ever opening day start between two Japanese-born starting pitchers in Yamamoto and Shota Imanaga. It's going to be electric. So is Hiroto Saiki. He is the ace of the Hanshin Tigers. You see his numbers last year in NPB, 13-3, an ERA below 2, 1.83, 167 plus innings, 137 strikeouts. EK, what have you? We watched a little bit of video.
I'll tell you what jumped out at me right there in that innings pitched last year, 160, I think, only 4 home runs. I think that's going to be tested this afternoon.
Shohei Ohtani has faced him before in World Baseball Classic exhibitions 2 years ago. Saiki's first pitch, a fastball dotted on the outside corner, strike one, has the exhibition underway. In the first AB, Saiki punched out Ohtani with a couple of fastballs. Big cut from Ohtani on a fastball at 95 from Saiki. 0-2. Then later in the exhibition, Ohtani on a fork ball went down to one knee and golfed it 420 feet to center field.
I mean, you got to get a fastball here, right? There's no way you throw him that.
On the 0-2, Ohtani. That's spiked well in front of home plate.
Or if you throw it, you bounce it halfway, right? That's
one way to be careful.
You look at his fastball, too, and 93, 94, 95. You know, it's not that 100 miles an hour, but it does have a lot of ride to it. It's got that spin. It's got that vertical movement.
One down in the dirt. Square count 2-2. For those who didn't tune into the exhibition last night, you get a sense for the usual silence in the stadium. The team is pitching. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike three. So just like the WBC exhibition in 2023, Saiki in his first AB against Ohtani punches him out.
That kind of an interesting way to go about it. Got ahead of him with two fastballs and then just stuck with that fork ball and didn't throw anything for a strike, but got Shohei to offer at it.
So no Mookie Betts again in the exhibitions for the Dodgers. He's been battling an illness. So it's Tommy Edman in the 2-hole again, and he watches a first pitch strike. But even though you don't have Mookie, the Dodgers still have 3 MVPs at the top of the order. Shohei, the league MVP last year. Tommy Edman, the NLCS MVP. And then Freddie Freeman, of course, MVP honors in the World Series. Good cut from Edman. Putting a fastball into the netting behind home plate. Still 0-2. It's been 0-2 to each of the first 2 Dodgers for Saiki.
Thrown 5 fastballs so far, and every one of them been in the strike zone.
He'll try again. This time Edman chases a devastating breaking ball that dropped off the table. Back-to-back punch-outs to begin the exhibition for the Tigers ace.
See, that's the splitter that got Shohei. You see where that thing bounces. That thing just drops off the table, and we saw Tommy Edman, same thing happen to him.
Now Freddie Freeman. The base is empty and 2 out in the first. Tries to lay off a high fastball. Cannot. Saiki listed at 6'2", 175 pounds, 26-year-old right-hander. You see that athleticism and the balance on the mound.
You know, one of the things we've seen so far is that splitter and using it against these left-handed hitters. Going back to Hideo Nomo when he came over from Japan, pitched for the Dodgers in the mid-90s. That splitter to left-handed hitters was devastating.
The 1-2 to Freeman. It's a ground ball to second base. Nakano is there to field it, and so 1-2-3 first inning for Hiroto Saiki. And so now the ball goes to Blake Snell, who's running out to the mound at the Tokyo Dome. Return to it after this on Sportsnet LA. this second exhibition for the Dodgers ahead of the Tokyo series. A couple of starts for Blake this spring, still working out some stuff. See his numbers last year when he was with the Giants. Last night the Dodgers beat the Giants, the Yomiuri Giants. The MBB equivalent of the New York Yankees. Tonight the Hanshin Tigers, basically the Red Sox, division rival of Yomiuri. First pitch from Blake is in there, fastball for strike one. Quickly 0-2.
You mentioned it last night when the Dodgers were up, and much like this afternoon, dead silence at the plate. And now when the home team is up, the Tigers just nonstop singing and noise. And so what do you think happens to the Cubs-Dodgers?
That's going to be fascinating to see. I imagine that the Dodgers will get that home team treatment, even though the Cubs will be the home team within the game. A strikeout for Snell.
I was reading something where they said that the Tigers fans have, quote unquote, the best cheerleaders, the best cheering sections.
The whole end on traveled, as you can see and hear.
Yep. I mean, much different than last night. I think more vocal, more involved.
Dots a fastball, does Snell. 0-2. Takuma Nakano, the second baseman, part of the World Baseball Classic winning team a couple seasons ago. Blake, in his meeting with the media ahead of this start yesterday, was talking about his kind of happiness with the challenges ahead. He's like, I don't know any of these guys. They don't know me. Blows one by Nakano. So, like Saiki, in the top of the first inning, Blake Snell begins the bottom of the first with a couple of strikeouts.
We'll say it's a no end that when nobody knows the other guy, pitcher versus hitter, advantage all day long pitcher. And then you couple it with a guy that has this type of stuff, Blake Snell. Here's the kicker. You get Blake Snell and then you get Tyler Glasnow.
It's kind of rude.
For an exhibition game.
Well, yesterday the Hanshin Tigers beat the Cubs. They shut them out 3-0 in a perfect game through the first 5 innings. They just gave up 3 hits the rest of the way. 2-0 count to Teruaki Soto, all-star third baseman for Hanshin. The 3-0 pitch to Sato. Popped him up. That might have tickled the roof in the Tokyo Dome. It finally drops down into Miggy Rowe's glove. So a 1-2-3 first for Blake Snell. We'll have Teoscar Hernandez leading off when we come back. A lot of love for Teo in Tokyo, and he gave it right back in the first exhibition against Yomi. It was one of the 3 home runs the Dodgers hit in that decisive 3rd inning yesterday against Shosei Togo, the Giants' best pitcher. It was Teo had to do the ceremonial post-game interview honors on the field here at the Tokyo Dome. Takes a strike from Saiki. And one of the questions asked Teo, he talked about the sunflower seed celebration, how happy he was that they were able to show that off to the fans here in Japan. And got a nice round of applause from the folks here last night. Lace, but well foul. 1-2. Such an easily lovable guy. He endeared himself so quickly to obviously his teammates and his coaches, but the entire fan base in LA. And that's why you saw that at the parade, the emotions bubbling out of him. And I think it added maybe a little bit more pressure on Andrew Friedman, who's going to join us later in the front office, to bring him back, which they did. Down the right field line, tailing into the seats.
Well, we saw the production obviously on the field, but you mentioned the personality, and just, you know, every time he walks by somebody, he greets them, says hello, makes them feel good. And that doesn't, you know, I'm not just talking about players. I'm talking about people in the front office, people on the staff, you know, us as media. Goes a long way.
He's off the splitter. Evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy, and Will Smith here in the second. Same starting lineup for the Dodgers in this exhibition as they had in the first. 1-2-2. Teo hits one right back to Saiki, who fields his position. Go gadget arm. 1 gone. Saiki was a Central League All-Star last year. Started for the first couple All-Star games. Started his career as a reliever back in 2017. Swing and miss from Muncy for strike 1. Hopped into the starting rotation in 2018. Missed 2021 with Tommy John surgery. Once he had a full 9 against Toledo last night, he's right back in there. Went 0 for 4 with the strikeout.
So far, Saiki has retired all 3 left-handers on fork balls, whether it's strikeout or ground ball to second. Kind of figure that's his pitch here.
Muncy pulls it down the line, just foul. Ooh. Yeah, look at Max's face. That says it all.
That looks fair to me from up here.
Yeah, it's not at least.
I mean, it wasn't even.
Oh, yeah.
It,
turning their heads for a replay. So Max stands back in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Will Smith on deck. No score in this second exhibition. Spin on it. That's a Muncy take right there.
Eyeballed him right there. You know, and that's tough. Those pitches that have that vertical ride, when they are low, you have a tendency to give up on them as a hitter because you think they're going to drop, and they don't. Got
him swinging. 3rd K for Saiki. in 5 Dodgers faced.
Again, not overpowering in the 93 miles an hour, but because it has that ride, it has that carry, it plays harder than 93. Good extension there as well.
So up to Will Smith with 2 out.
Haven't seen one of those. Right? Curveball right there.
Will Smith was 0 for last night. Really outside that 3rd inning in which the Dodgers had the 3 home runs and scored 5 times. It wasn't a lot of offense on display. Dodger bullpen did what the Dodger bullpen does. 2-1 to Smith. Crack foul.
We talk about the silence again. Here is the crowd noise.
Full count. Part of the unique and special experience that is watching a baseball game in this country. A baseball obsessed nation is Japan, and really the top nation when it comes to this sport in the world right now, given their international prowess. Lengthy AB being worked by Smith against Psyche. Eighth pitch coming to Smith. It's downstairs. A 2-out walk for Will. Getting on base for the man who opened the scoring last night in loud fashion. Michael Conforto.
Yeah, he didn't waste any time. Jumped on the first pitch offering. Absolutely crushed it. Continued his hot stretch. Three home runs in that inning, all 3 on first pitches.
After starting the spring 2 for his first 17, Conforto helped the coaching staff made a little mechanical tweak, and he's gotten the bat hot. A little sword flailing at strike 1 against Psyche.
You just got to figure if you're throwing and you know what happened last night where Conforto jumped on a fastball. Not going to make that same mistake twice. God, so that's a great location.
Last 4 games, Mike is 6 for 13, 4 extra base hits, a couple of homers. Behind 0-2, Smith on first, 2 gone, and a scoreless game. Sakamoto, the catcher behind home plate, trying to frame up strike 3, comfortably off. Strike 3 swinging. Psyche ends the second with his 4th K. Blake Snell back to work when we come back. Hanshin Tigers, one of Japan's most historically revered teams, celebrating their 90th anniversary of the team's founding. Usually the Osaka Tigers back in 1935 play at the most famous stadium in the country, Koshien Stadium, which predates the franchise by a decade, 1924. Blake Snell's first pitch of the second inning will pop up to Miggy Road just beyond the infield. Quick first out for Blake. Stock talking with Mookie. He's been battling it out, and Mookie's illness has cost him a few pounds. He's trying to get right, see if he can get healthy enough to give it a go against the Cubs in a couple of days.
Well, we watched him out here yesterday, before the game, taking ground balls at short, trying to break a sweat. But I'm with you. If he's, like, for me, if he's not 100%, then there's no reason to go.
Yeah. Two balls and a strike to Yusuke Oyama against Blake Snell, Oyama, the first baseman for the Tigers. It's worth remembering, though, for Mookie, as the Dodgers open up another season overseas. Last year, he absolutely tore up Seoul. Start of the year against the Padres, 6 for 9. Drove in 7. Hit to center. Pages waits a moment, then reads it back for the second out.
Was he sick?
Let's not get into the important details. I know you've gotten to know Blake over the years, and this spring was really your kind of first true introduction to him, and you're already a massive fan.
Really am, and it's, I don't know if it's the perception or, you just kind of feel like, hey, this guy is just kind of out there doing his thing, and real cerebral when it comes to pitching.
Oh my God.
The devotion to the youth baseball and giving back. Shared with us. It doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, nothing. Just,
video games.
Just it's. Really, when you talk about somebody that you'd want to, look up to and be a role model, this is your guy.
It's 1-2 to Mayagawa. Oh yeah. So that's the third K for Blake Snell. 6 up, 6 down against Hanshin. Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Into the third inning at the Tokyo Dome. The Tokyo series will kick off in a couple of days. Right now the Dodgers wrapping up their exhibition weekend. Taking on the Hanshin Tigers, a staff that has started this weekend just shutting down the two major league visitors. 9 shutout innings against the Cubs yesterday and 2 to start against the Dodgers. Just 3 hits surrendered. Miguel Rojas, Andy Pages, and Shohei Ohtani on the docket for the Dodgers here in the third.
Say it, Nelly.
Sword. Pitching Ninja is in the building.
Oh, yeah?
Freeman, he's here. Yeah. Wow. A 1-2 pitch to Rojas. On a line, but right at Sato at third. Shohei begins his prep in the on-deck circle. Andy Pages ready in the batter's box. First breaker from Psyche, strike one. Pages, he was ready to go. His first pitch he saw yesterday just absolutely roped the double. Fastball just missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's the 9th whiff that Psyche has induced against the Dodger lineup. Pages trying to get right for his sophomore season. Ended his rookie year as the first Dodger rookie ever with a multi-home run game in the postseason. Talking to him in the spring, one of the focuses he had offensively was trying to eliminate the hole that he felt he had at the plate, which is high velo. On this 2-2 from Psyche, Pages pokes one in the air, right field side, long run for Morista, and he's not going to get it.
Tough to eliminate that. You know, there's 2 ways to approach things. Either you teach yourself to lay off that pitch and punish pitches when they're somewhere else in the zone, or usually if you can't catch up to that, it's something mechanical that you're trying to eliminate as far as taking up time. Probably a little extra movement. But a lot of guys, I mean, very difficult to cover all areas of the plate. You got to give something to get something.
On the ground to second. Nakano was playing back. Fields it well. And keeps the bases empty for Shohei Ohtani. What do you need in the field? He's got you covered. He's also got the entire country of Japan covered with his own face. Every product seemingly. It's inspired some friendly ribbing from his Dodger teammates. Gosh, I just wanted. Can we escape you for a minute, please? Struck out leading off the game. As we discussed, when he faced Psyche a couple years ago in an exhibition game, struck out first time, then put him in the book a little bit later with a long home run. clip went viral around Japan because he went and did the Adrian Beltre, dropped to one knee.
I mean, no way he throws a fastball here, does he?
He did. At the knees, strike one.
Again, you look at those numbers, not overpowering, 93, 94, but the sequencing has been excellent. The splitter, the fastball, has that ride on the fastball.
Let's go Dodgers chant breaking out the Tokyo Dome ahead of this 2-1. Big swing, big miss, and a high heater. Every phone in the building aimed at home plate.
Changing the eye level on Shohei, throwing that fastball at the top of the zone there. And set up for one of those splitters that he bounces.
Just off, 3-2. We're full. Psyche was ready to head toward the dugout. Here's the payoff from Psyche. Otani hits it high in the air, shallow right center field. Shikamoto calling for it and has it. Now, still waiting on a hit in the Tokyo Dome. Blake Snell is going to try and keep everything hitless next. Think there's going to be a lot of offense. That was in large part because of Blake Snell and then Tyler Glasnow do it behind him, but also Psyche throwing the heck out of the baseball too.
Well, it really is, and again, it's not overpowering stuff velocity wise, but I bet you if you start looking at movement, extension, spin rates and all that, he's probably off the chart because he is absolutely befuddled Dodger hitter so far.
That's a pretty good fastball from Snell at 96 to not get the strike call. Bottom of the order for the Tigers against Blake. Starting with the shortstop, Seiya Kinami. Kinami was a key player for Hanshin when the Tigers won the Japan series a couple seasons ago. Was the Climax Series MVP. Climax Series basically the MLB equivalent, the MPB equivalent of the League Championship Series back home. 2-2 after the whiff Snell tries again. Another foul ball. I think it's important, something you brought up when talking about Blake last inning, EK, was just how you've come to understand how cerebral he is as a pitcher, because it's true, like that's the old saying, perception becomes reality, right? Or is reality. So there's been a perception about Blake during his career. On the ground a second, no problems for Tommy Edman, out number 1. But even talking to him, you know, it's not just start to start, year to year. He goes into it with sort of a fresh mind and ready to learn and see what's working for him and how he's going to get through a year. He doesn't go into it being like, all right, I want 180 innings, I want 200 innings, I want 200 Ks. He's like, I might have different stuff year to year, start to start, and I'm going to go with that.
Well, he's certainly got a plan. Obviously, the stuff speaks for itself, but you couple that with the way he wants to approach the upcoming year, way he wants to prepare for a game. You know, he's got his own opinion. He's got his own process, and it's not just, hey, I'm coming to the Dodgers, what do you have for me? It's, hey, look, these are some of the things that have worked in my career. These are some of the things that I'm comfortable with. You know, can we mesh? And, you know, what are some of the things that you may see in my arsenal that we can tweak? And it's really been a great marriage both ways. I'm excited to see how he does.
Oh, got him. Dirty. Fourth strikeout for Snell.
I mean, remember, he's never been on a team like the Dodgers. He's been on good teams, but he comes and is a part of this rotation, has an opportunity to learn from another, you know, arguably one of the greatest left-handers to ever work in Kirsch. There's going to be a competition amongst the other starters. I think this is going to be an unbelievable signing for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Last of the order, Sakamoto, first pitch, pulled foul on the left field line. The thing I love about Blake is that he loves watching batting practice on start days. He'll come out and watch the opposing BP, because the way he put it, that tells me everything I need to know. Who's feeling good that day, who's working on something, who's struggling, perhaps not feeling it. And that influences his plan of attack when he finally takes the bump. Quickly ahead 0-2 against Sakamoto, now trying to put him away.
That's an interesting thing, too, because, you know, you can look at a guy's numbers statistically and say, oh, boy, he's got 30 home runs and he's hitting 300. Oh, he's great. But it doesn't matter. You're playing him at a certain point in time. How has he been swinging the last couple of days? How is he feeling right now? Look at that. Say it. Just say it right there. I'll say it. Short.
That's mean. 5 strikeouts. He's perfect through 3.
.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, and T-shirts. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your Dodgers gear.
Hiroto Saiki, the ace of the Hanshin Tigers, and he's looked every bit of that label to start this exhibition against the Dodgers. Strike one to Tommy Edman. Here in the top of the fourth inning, no score and no hits for either team.
Saiki's done a nice job of changing eye level. That fastball living at the top of the zone, mixing it in once in a while down around the knees, but spending a lot of time with that splitter forkball down at the bottom part of the zone. Second time through the lineup, so let's see if the Dodgers are able to make adjustments.
Tommy stays in there. Edman back in the Tokyo Dome after playing here for the Korean national team in the World Baseball Classic a couple of seasons ago. I was with Tommy at Dodger Fest, and a fan asked, "Hey, what's it like playing a game in Japan?" Versus 0-2 from Saiki. Spiked in the dirt. And Edman said, talked about how amazing the atmosphere was, the fans, the culture, the food, etc. And I asked, "Hey, Tommy, how'd those games go?" And he's like, "We don't want to talk about that." Good take, tough take, 2-2. Gets a bat on it. Fly ball to left. We will have the Dodgers president of baseball operations, Andrew Friedman, hopping in with us in an inning or so. Looking forward to that conversation with Andrew. And now we get to look at Freddie Freeman. Two strikes against him. Freeman flails at strike three. And then he got a piece of it, and then that got Sakamoto in a tough way. Yeah, hard pass. Hard pass.
Pat on the back and questioning how you're doing isn't going to make it feel better.
Freddie not going away quietly.
I mean, this is really a great test for the Dodgers, just especially running into Imanaga in the first game, because he's going to work the top of the zone with that fastball and try and throw that off-speed stuff down. Right on the fastball. Obviously the difference, one guy right-hander, Imanaga left-hander.
The hand-eye, the bat-to-ball working for Freddie right now.
It really is.
Staying alive, 0-2. Five consecutive foul balls. Yankees, go away, man. Pitch number 7. Finally got him.
Went after him with that curveball. He'd been historically putting away the lefties with that splitter. And he's really doing a nice job of just sequencing, moving the ball up and down.
Teoscar Hernandez, 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 4th inning. And still no hits for the Dodgers, no hits for the Tigers against Blake Snell either.
Hmm.
The 1-2 pitch from Psyche. Got Teoscar swinging. Back-to-back Ks for Psyche to finish the 4th. He's up to 6 in 4 hitless innings against the reigning world champs. Dome, the second exhibition ahead of the Tokyo series. We got a special guest, EK. We're sandwiching the Dodgers president of base operations, Andrew Freeman. Andrew, thanks for being with us. I know you've been to Japan before, but I don't know if you've been to Japan like this with the Dodgers and seemingly everybody in the country supporting the Dodger Blue.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. When this was announced, your mind starts racing and you're picturing what it could be, and the brain isn't capable of getting it what this is and how special it is. And everywhere we're going around the city, at the ballpark, our workout, how early people are getting here for the games, just the passion that we felt for the game and for the Dodgers has been really special.
watching Blake Snell out there. Obviously, you knew enough about him to sign him. But what have you learned just in the last month or two, watching him pitch, the way he goes about his business? Has anything surprised you?
You know, I talked about this when we signed him. Just knowing him when he was 18, seeing him today, the maturation has been incredible. Just the level of awareness, watching how much he is trying to, you know, help advance our starting pitching culture, going and sitting in on guys' pens and mentoring some of the young guys. It's been really special, and I think the biggest thing is he could not be happier to be a Dodger. Throughout the spring, I probably got 4 random texts from him. Just, hey, I want to thank you again. Couldn't be happier to be here. I love my time. And it's been a few weeks, and I love it. So
the Tampa Bay Dodgers.
That's right.
Glass
That's
and
right.
Snell.
There's a few.
That's a first base runner against Blake this afternoon. So, Andrew, you might want to leave
Jinx is
now.
perfect.
Yeah, you might want to get out of here now. No, it's been a heck of a pitcher's duel between him and Hiroto Saiki.
Yeah, we should save the ticket stubs.
Now the second baseman, Takuma Nakano. But, Andrew, I'm curious, in all your visits to Japan, has this country, its love for baseball, its relationship with baseball, its style of baseball, has it influenced you or changed you in any tangible way?
You know, it's funny. I knew how passionate the Japanese people were for the game of baseball, but you can't fully appreciate what that means until you experience it. And a couple years ago, I went out to Miyazaki, where Samurai Japan, the WBC team, was coming together, and it was their first workout. Infielders were taking ground balls, some fly balls, taking dead arm BP. Pitchers were long tossing and throwing pins, and that was it. And there were probably 20,000 fans there for the first workout, and that really connected some dots for me, just in terms of just how passionate they are.
What's your level of celebrity? I imagine it's elevated in recent years.
Yeah, what's funny is in LA it's not that much, and nor should it be. But in Korea and Japan, it's been quite elevated, I think, with the viewership of the Ohtani press conference alone.
Shoot, if I'm a Japanese owner of a baseball team, I'm running if I see Andrew. I'm like, not this guy again.
Nakano, right center field, splits the gap. So the first two have reached against Blake. Yeah.
Nice job, Andy. Keeping him to a single there.
Because Nakano will take an extra base if you give it to him. At the corners, no out in the bottom of the 4th inning. So the first base runner followed by the first hit.
And the no-hitter within 3 minutes of me being here.
So, yeah, that is, we definitely won't tell Blake that it was your fault.
He's got to get some work out of the stretch. This is all about getting ready for the season. You know that, right?
Exactly right. So you're welcome, Blake.
Something Ike has been saying, he's like, gosh, piggybacking Blake Snell with Tyler Glasnow is kind of mean for an exhibition game.
It is. It's not nice. You know, it really speaks to this experience and this trip. And it's challenging with the 31-player limit that we're allowed to bring. And every guy really has to have a purpose to help us get through these 4 games, or it doesn't work to carry them. And, you know, Dustin May is obviously back in Arizona, continuing to stretch out. And that's what we would have done with Blake and Tyler. But both guys wanted so badly to experience this trip and be with their teammates. And so this was the way we came up with how to do it.
How do you balance that, though, with these 2 games that they count coming up? But you've got the regular season ahead of you. There are 2 games and you're off for a while. You've got the traveling. The importance of those games and getting ready for the season.
Yeah, it's strange. We obviously went through it last year. And the strangest part, I think, is coming back and playing the 3 exhibition games. After you've dialed up and ramped up for these 2 games coming up, and to come back, play 3 exhibition, and then kick off our domestic opener. So it's a little tricky, but our guys handled it really well last year. And in years where we've done that, we've won a World Series. So I like that.
That He's a good friend. Yeah, you know, it just helps the body clock adjust those exhibition games coming home.
So where are we going next year?
Well, we win it again this year. We will barnstorm somewhere.
We're going.
Right, we're going. We may not be invited, but we're going.
The 2-2 pitch from Snell. Runner going high, fly ball, deep right field. Hiroaki Sato sends the Tokyo Dome into a frenzy. A 3-run homer against Blake Snell.
That's pretty impressive to get on top of that heater.
Yeah, it's one thing that Blake Snell does not do, give up home runs to left-handed hitters.
No, he does not. I thought they were second level thinking us with starting the game with the left.
Right.
He may not see this many, he won't see this many lefties ever
No way.
in a lineup against him in the U.S.
That sends the Tigers Olin Dunn going crazy in right field. So 3-0 Hanshin. Still no outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. First they reach and score on one swing off the bat of Sato. And on the cleanup spot with Shota Morishita.
Yeah, so like we were saying, Blake's got a lot to work on.
North of 50 pitches now. You know, we've joking about the international thing and the barnstorming, but I think something, and that's down the line. That ball's fair into the left field corner.
I think Blake just wanted to give us some more time to catch up.
Yeah, I've enjoyed this this conversation with you, Andrew. We've seen you every day at breakfast, but you know, family time don't want to interrupt, so now you're stuck with us. Now, mound visit from Will Smith, but I think throughout the Dodgers organization history, and going back well before any of us were walking this earth, it's an organization that has always hung its hat on being places that nobody else is or was at the time. And that trend is even continuing now for you and your team, part of the baseball ops crew.
Yeah, we do have such a, this organization has such a rich legacy around the world, and reading about and hearing about Walter O'Malley's vision and the way he thought about things and just how unique it was at that time is pretty incredible. And Ike got to experience Nomomania and just the rich history between the Dodgers and Japan. And that trip I alluded to in Miyazaki, it really struck me how splintered the fandom was. You saw Yankee hats and Dodger hats and Cubs hats and Rangers and just a smattering of different teams. And to know the passion, to know our history here, and for us to end up where we are with these 3 players and just how much it has turned Dodger blue is really special to see.
I was talking to Joe Davis before the game, and just about all of the Dodger blue that you just referenced. There were fans that had Yomiuri Giants hats, but in blue and white. And you think that's iconic Giant colors, black and orange. So to do that, it's just people, another example, people wanting a piece of the Dodgers these days. All right, Blake, let's put him away. Ground ball to second. The runner will advance to third, but Snell gets his first out.
Are you surprised at the level the Ohtani impact has had with the Dodgers? I mean, you knew it was going to be high, but it just seems like it continues to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. We knew it was going to be really high. Even with that, it has far exceeded our expectations. It's one thing to have a sense of it, but to live it up close, and obviously him going 50-50 and us winning a World Series and just all the storybook stuff that played out, I'm sure enhanced that some, but it was even more extreme than we could have possibly imagined.
I mean, who could ever say, right, and it sounds ridiculous to say it, but you got a deal. Like, you got a deal. Like, that was a bargain. I mean,
we're very happy to have him.
That slice down the left field line, it'll tail foul. So, you know, Andrew, that was a nice answer. It's a very sweet answer talking about Shohei. But can we be honest now? At this point on this trip, given that his face is on every single product, are you sick of it? Are you sick of it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I've made trips to Japan. And I came back last year and I was like, Shohei, I didn't even miss you. I saw you everywhere. You know what's funny is I think he is the most talented player who's ever played this game. First.
Fair, yeah.
Second, I think in some weird way, he's underrated. I still think he is underappreciated as a player. And
okay,
now, last year we didn't get to see the also pitching, but to be that good at those two things.
He can say it now because he's got him signed.
Yeah.
I promise you he wasn't saying this.
No, he's overrated 2 years ago.
Before we signed him, he's a good player. He's talented. Now.
You know, I think that's the theme of what you're talking about here is like whatever expectation you have on him, I guess there is no ceiling. So you want to say, okay, he's going back to the mound this year. That means his offense is going to take a downturn a little bit. But as he showed last year, and the expectation was, all right, he's still rehabbing from his second major surgery, and he goes 50-50. So, like, your brain's in a blender about what you want to prepare for out of him.
Yeah, and I mean, to your point, I think there's just a glass ceiling of what our brains can comprehend. And what we have seen out of him and what he will continue to do, I just think is not appreciated enough.
Mark Pryor is going to come out.
I guess my point is, any year he is doing both, I think he is the surefire MVP. I don't know how anybody can beat him in an MVP race when he is doing both at anywhere close to the levels he's doing.
I'll tell you what could beat him, and that is the fatigue that you have, that sports fans experience, right?
Right, I just think that's wrong.
I agree with you, but I'm saying that seems like the only thing that could possibly dethrone him is people, like, again, putting their brain in a pretzel to be like, all right, well, we've seen this for 6-7 years now. Like, it's okay, like the shine is worn off. We got to give it to this guy for whatever reason. I agree that that's wrong, but that's only...
Well, he continues to set the floor higher and higher and higher. And you're just like, well, he's got to hit 40-40. Right. If he doesn't, it was...
Well, I thought we got a taste of it toward the end of last year. People, and I say this bring this up with respect to Francisco Lindor, who's an amazing player, who had a phenomenal year carrying the Mets. But I just felt like people were trying to do too much. You know what I mean? Because Shohei's 50-50, but we just saw Acuna 40-70. Right. Like, it was like, all right, let's,
I can't believe anybody even believed the Lindor thing. They just needed somebody to talk about.
Right, exactly.
Had to kill some airtime somewhere, right?
That's exactly right.
That's the truth. First and third, one out, bottom of the fourth. The Dodgers trailing 3-0. A 3-run homer from Sato. So this has been really the first inning all night or all afternoon for Blake Snell, where he's had to labor through it.
Andrew, if you get to write down on a piece of paper your hope for Sasaki, and then you get to open it up at the end of the year, what does that look like?
For me, it's just the ability to take the ball each turn, and we'll start to ramp that up a little bit as we get into the season, and just continue to get better. He is a crazy arm talent that still has some player development,
right?
Which is really exciting, and I think the progress we made in a short period of time in spring training of just building that trust, it is so important. And I thought it was going to take more time than it has to this point, and we were willing to play the long game, but I think the rapport he created with our pitching group, with our performance group, was even more advanced and accelerated than I expected. So I think taking the ball and continuing his upward ascent and just getting better and better and taking the feedback from each start, continuing to iterate and get better and better is my goal, because I'll bet on what that outcome is.
How is he different than Yamamoto in, you said, just kind of meshing and getting on the same program? And one guy's a little older, obviously, but
yeah, I think the age part. I think Yamamoto has gone through some parts of his career where you know, he created a real identity of how to train, how to prepare, that I think Roki is just so talented. He hadn't gotten to that point yet. And then when he had an oblique injury and delivery got off a little bit, and we've seen this with so many really talented pitchers, it's not as easy to go, okay, I'm just going to go back to that, because it was subconscious. It was just the way their bodies moved. And so now it's about how to repattern that kind of stuff. And, you know, he's still developing what that routine is.
Right. Before, I know we got one more out to work with here, dangerous question to ask, but is there anybody, aside from the players that everyone in the world is talking about, that you're especially excited to watch this season? Whether it's a hitter, pitcher, I don't care. Is someone that has really caught your eye the last month in spring with their work or their off-season program?
Man, there's so many.
Like Robo last night looked.
Yeah, he did. He looked really good. Ben Kasparius has looked great.
Yeah.
Jack Dreyer. There have been so many guys that, you know, and we've seen this with so many of our young pitchers over the years. You know, Robo came up and scuffled some last year, but that feedback he got from his big league experience, you have one of two ways you can go. You can either lose confidence and think you don't belong, or you can take that in and work at what you need to work on. And Robo's off-season work was great, and it's been really fun to watch him this spring.
One more strike is all Blake Snell needs. Throw at least one more pitch.
Were you getting paid by the out or the time you were up here?
I told Blake I'd split it with him.
That's right. Smart. Up to 35 pitches here in the bottom of the fourth inning. We saw Matt Sauer warming up in the Dodger pen.
See, now he's just doing some extra. I said, hey, if you can get to 30, that'd be great.
Shattered the bat in that foul ball.
That's always what you want to see. 30 pitches.
Yep.
Hit an inning.
That's exactly how you draw
a build up.
Anything on your tourism to-do list?
The food is amazing.
Gosh.
It's like the steak, the ramen, the sushi.
Let's give love where it's due. Galen Carr is
the gizzard.
The gizzard, Chad, was not the greatest thing I've ever had. No,
I thought you had two of them.
I did.
Just to make sure.
My wife snuck it under the table to me. Yep. I've had better things. But how was a Ricky Chon steak?
That's the
best ever. Best ever.
Hey, Andrew, thank you / sorry for all the time you spent with us here in the booth.
Good stuff. Thank you, Andrew.
World Champion Dodgers Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Thanks again to the Dodgers President of Baseball Operations, Andrew Friedman, for spending an hour in the booth with us the last half inning. Dodgers now trailing the Hanshin Tigers 3-0. If you're really hanging on the result of this exhibition game, you know, one potential silver lining is that it was a lengthy time in the dugout for the Tigers starter Hiroto Saiki, who's been terrific. No hits for the Dodgers against him through the first 4 innings. Three balls, 1 strike for Max, who struck out swinging his first time up. Muncy, Smith, Conforto here for LA in the top of the 5th. 3-1. Muncy hits it well. A little base hit in the right center field. And that's the first hit of the game for the Dodgers. Will was the first base runner for the Dodgers. Worked a 2-out walk in the 2nd inning. Now is Muncy on in front of him. On a hop, and fielded by Nakano. And it's going to be 2. 4-6-3 twin killing for Saiki.
Really a nice play by Nakano to short hop that ball. Does a nice job because it's hit so hard. He's got time, makes a good feed.
So now Michael Conforto, all of a sudden base is clear and 2 out.
Seen a couple of nice double plays we saw last night, turning the 3-6, yeah, first base, pitcher covering.
Saiki's next pitch will be his 80th of the game. A 1-1 to Conforto. Bounce foul. And Blake Snell, he threw 37 pitches the first 3 innings, then threw 37 pitches in the 4th inning alone. Matt Sauer, he sat down for a second. He's back up. Tyler Glass now starting to loosen up as well. Nothing Hanshin. This was the same score, the final score yesterday in their exhibition against the Cubs. On a 1-2. Conforto spoils it. Yesterday it was a 20-year-old Keito Mombetsu tossed 5 perfect innings against the Cubs before he turned the game over to the Hanshin bullpen. Gave up just 3 hits the rest of the way. And then today's starter, Saiki, had a no-hitter through 4. Say it. 7th K for Saiki. And here comes Blake Snell again.
Opening week at Dodger Stadium, presented by Bank of America, is almost here. Your world champion Dodgers are celebrating the home opener on March 27th, the World Series ring ceremony on Friday, March 28th, and rolling out the first giveaways of the season. Check them out at Dodgers.com/promotions.
EK, your level of surprise seeing Blake Snell back out after 37 pitches in the fourth.
Well,
1 to 10.
I'd say about a 11. I mean, just because of exhibition, he just. But on the flip side, this isn't your normal everyday pitcher.
Yeah.
And this guy is an absolute horse, and I promise you, he's going to protect himself. And if he thinks he can go out and he thinks that that's what he needs, that's why he's out there.
The Tigers sent 8 to the plate in the fourth inning, scored 3 runs and 3 hits. He stranded a pair with back-to-back punch-outs, so he's up to 7 Ks in the game. He was perfect the first 3 innings. And any letters of displeasure, please email them to Andrew Friedman.
I just think that, again, for the regular pitcher, you're probably, a little more cautious. But there's a history here as far as, I mean, this guy is just, like I said, he can go out there, take the ball, he can throw, he knows his body.
Payoff. On the ground of Muncy, has it on the backhand. Shuffle and throw is a good one.
Hey, and you remember there was a time when Blake Snell didn't get an opportunity to go back out.
Oh.
That's fact.
Yeah, I know it is. Sorry for the stray, Rays. And so with that, 80 pitches for Snell. Doc's going to take the ball from him. We'll step aside for a moment and come back to the Tokyo Dome. Dodgers trailing 3-0. Charles Jr. Each burger flavor is a charbroiled legend. Never settle for a boring burger again. 4 1/3 for Blake Snell. 3 earned runs on 3 hits. One of those hits, a 3-run homer. 7 strikeouts, couple of walks, 80 pitches. And so now with bases clear and 1 gone in the bottom of the 5th inning, we see Matt Sauer.
Matt getting an opportunity to show his stuff here in Tokyo.
First pitch to him, high in the air, right center field. Pajes and Teoscar Hernandez tracking it back at the wall, and he makes a leaping catch. So earlier we saw Pajes do a great job cutting a ball in the gap off. And there we see him track one down.
Now, really a nice job by Hanshin. Remember, this is a place that he's never played. He's not familiar with all the dimensions and where things are, and shows no fear and continues to stay with it. Makes a nice catch.
Second baseman Nakano takes strike one at the top of the zone from Sauer.
Kind of like that. He looks for the ball, and then boom, he puts his head down and covers some ground, and then looks back up to pick up the baseball again.
Sliced the other way by Nakano. Conforto is over to get it, and good work by Mike getting it back in quickly.
Two nice defensive plays by the outfield.
So just a single for Nakano, and now back at the plate is Hiroaki Sato, who did this his last time up. Andrew Friedman nailed it. For a lefty, get on top of Blake Snell like that.
Well, he said to get on top just to hit a home run. I mean, that just does not happen. But getting back to the job Snell did, you know, he had 39 swings, 20 swing and misses. It's over a 50% rate. Talking about the league average at 25%. Really good outing. Had got his work in. Had 5 up downs. I think that's why he came out for that 5th inning. Up down meaning you just sit there for the inning and then you go back out.
From Sauer, nearly got Nakano. It's a special trip for that man too. Dave Roberts, fresh off his well-earned and deserved extension back in his home country, the country in which he was born. He just visited Japan for the first time in 2 decades, back in December. Back to his birthplace, Okinawa, filming a commercial. His father, Wayman, was a U.S. Marine stationed in Japan when met Doc's mother, Eiko. And Dave has kind of been vulnerable and open in talking recently about his heritage and how it's one of the regrets that he has is not giving as much due to his Japanese side in his life as he feels he should have, but he is changing that now. The only manager of Asian heritage to win a World Series. To count the pitch from Sauer. Struck him out. That strands Nakano and keeps the Dodgers within 3 as we go to the 6th in the Tokyo Dome. The Dodgers scored 5 runs in the 3rd inning yesterday against Yomiuri. Since then, 11 straight scoreless for the offense. A huge part of that was the Hanshin Tigers starter Hiroto Saiki, who's now out of the game after 5 innings, gave up just 1 hit, 1 other base runner, but struck out 7.
Yeah, really did a nice job, not only sequencing, but mixing that riding fastball with that the off speed, the splitter. It just changed eye level. Very difficult if you're the Dodgers, you know, never having seen him, going to have the advantage, and he dealt.
Well, this is a pitcher that they have seen before. Javi Guerra, former big leaguer, now playing in NPB. We see Miguel Rojas, Andy Pages, and Shohei Ohtani. Scheduled spots in the order in the 6th. He's 0 for 1. Guerra now 29 years old. Handful of seasons in the major leagues. Padres, Rays, Brewers. The 2nd season in NPB for Guerra, who joined the Tigers last season. 2nd most saves on the team. Rolled to short. Rojas retired by his counterpart. Four career appearances in the major leagues for Guerra against the Dodgers. None of them starts. Onto the pen. 3 2/3 innings. Gave up a couple of runs. We've seen defense from Andy Pages. And he turned it into offense. Try and spark this lineup in the 2nd exhibition game. All fans ain't gonna like that. We love Hunter Ferdusha. Fans seeing a pinch hitter in Shohei Ohtani's spot in the order on deck.
Got to go home and start making dinner, right? Is it tonight? They're hosting the ball club, right? He and Sasaki, and is that tonight? I think that. No,
I don't know if that's tonight. It is tonight.
Yeah. So right. You didn't get the invite, did you?
No. Players only, and I am not the LA Dodgers home run king. So. Pages pushes it the other way. Comes down a base hit, so there's the offense on the heels of the defense that we were hoping for.
All right, get a little something going here. Pages hit the ball well last night, too. Had that double in the gap.
Now this one opposite field.
Yeah.
Behind in the count. Oh, you could hear the audible reaction from fans in the dome when it was announced a pinch hitter for Shohei Ohtani.
Hey, how many phones you see up right now?
A few fewer than previously. I got mine out for you, Hunter.
How do you think that conversation went? Hey, Hunter, you're hitting for Shohei. Oh, come on. Get somebody else, maybe.
That was his the straw that he drew last night too, Hunter, when he came into the game.
Oh, so he's a designated.
Tony
for,
T,
yeah, okay, I got you.
Dodgers trailing 3-0, 1 on 1 out in the top of the 6th. Your playing days, EK, were you a believer in that's the starter is dealing against you, and then you see him come out of the game? Did that give you a boost at all for you personally?
Man, I don't even remember. You're talking about my playing days.
You ain't that old, dude.
Just depend who was in that bullpen, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it was a different time too, because you were always you were trying to get to the bullpen. You were trying to, there weren't really the pitch limits. And the bullpen seemed to be the weaker link back then. Right now, you got guys coming out of the bullpen throwing 1,000 miles an hour. It's like, you're almost thinking, can I get that starter one more inning or something?
Payoff to Fiducia. 96 from Guerra. They get strike 3.
Just reared back right there.
Brief appearance in the dugout for Tyler Glass now. Tommy Edman with 2 out. You just think to where Tommy Edman was a year ago this time, EK. Not playing and unsure when that return date was going to be, and now you look back at that from where he is now, fresh off a 5-year $74 million extension as a National League Championship Series MVP for the world champion Dodgers.
Playing in Southern California, hometown San Diego. That's how quick that things can turn in this game. And sometimes it just seems so far away.
Didn't debut until the 19th of August. From that point, the Dodgers played 53 games with Tommy Edman. The team won 36 of them. That's a .679 win percentage.
Had the most hits of anybody in last year's postseason.
Gets aboard here, not via the hit, but a walk. So, tying run to the plate in the form of Freddie Free.
Going back to Edman, though, he was somebody that the Dodgers had on their radar for years.
Long time.
And he was somebody that, again, when he was playing in St. Louis and playing every day, there was no way that they were going to let him go or give him up, because he was a very versatile, valuable guy to have on a team. But as you mentioned, the injuries and just having a tough time coming back. Never would have thought it ended like it would.
2 on, 2 out, top of the 6th. Dodgers down by 3. Freddie On the ground a second. Nakano gobbles it up. Off this Tokyo Dome turf, it's a lot more difficult than Nakano has made it look a couple times today.
Stadium on Wednesday, April 2nd versus the Atlanta Braves and take home Shohei Ohtani's 2024 National League MVP bobblehead. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
A lot of changes for the Dodgers ahead of the bottom of the 6th inning. First, Tyler Glasnow on the mound. The team trailing 3-0. 3-run homer for Sato against Blake Snell in the 4th inning. Changes along with Glasnow in the field as well. But you see the numbers for Tyler last year. Unfortunately, wasn't able to finish the season healthy, but he feels that way heading into 2025, which is a huge thing.
And that's the only thing you're really looking for, is him just to post every day, to come out of those appearances feeling good. You know, it's, again, you want to see the results, and but I think more importantly for Tyler this year, he wants to get through a season.
Now pitching to Austin Barnes. Let's check in with Kirsten Watson down in the Dodger dugout.
Yeah, Stephen, well, just picking up on what EK was just saying for Tyler and wanting to get through the full season, one of the biggest things he focused on this offseason is having more of an athletic delivery. Obviously, he's a very tall guy, lots of long levers, and so for him, you really only see it on how he's landing, where his back is a little bit lower compared to what we were seeing from him last year. But by doing things like that, the focus was to make it a bit more repeatable. This spring, he worked with a lot of different coaches and teams and guys to kind of figure this out, what works best for him. But he's been telling us that he feels really good with just the small adjustments that should hopefully have a longer impact.
Great insights, Kirsten. Thank you for that.
I mean, I get the whole deal, you know, big man, 6'8", long left. But for his size, he is about as flexible and as athletic as anybody you're going to see. I mean, some of the yoga-like positions he puts himself in, and I mean, sometimes you wonder if he's doing a side gig at Cirque du Soleil.
Bautista to left. Hey, there's a catch from James Outman, fresh into the game. The ball will find you. And Audi was ready.
That was really a heck of a play by Audi right there. Again, spending a lot of time in center field, but coming in on this ball as hard as it was hit. Sinking as well. Really a nice play.
2 of the 4 changes in the field for the Dodgers. I mentioned Barnes and Outman. Now Kike Hernandez takes over for Freddie Freeman at first. Chris Taylor in place of Miguel Rojas at short.
That ball to left field, by the way, came off the bat at 112.
So Morista in the exhibition against the Cubs, he had a ground ball hit at 115. It was the hardest hit ball, I think, in all of baseball in the action yesterday. He went hard here, but had a knock taken from him against the James Outman. Yes, he did. A strikeout for Glass now. Quickly 2 gone. Ball squeezed through the left side, not hit very hard, but you know where they ain't. That's exactly what Mayagawa did. 2-out single off Glass now. Well, I'm an idiot. We could just say it, EK. That ball was hit 106. Just didn't look like it at first.
I always felt like ground balls on the turf, though. I don't want to say they pick up speed, but they probably, I mean, I don't know if it's physically possible, but I know somebody's going to probably write something somewhere like, yes, you can do that. They can go faster. Because you mentioned the other day what the ball that was hit 115 yesterday, the hardest in baseball. That was a ground ball. Yeah.
Deep breath from Glass now for this 0-2. Yeah. Couple of Ks, his first inning of work in this second exhibition, which the Dodgers still trail by 3. Let's remember some of the history for the Dodgers overseas. Australia, Mexico, last year in South Korea. All leading up to 2025 in Japan. The Tokyo series against the Cubs. Games Tuesday and Wednesday night here in Tokyo. It's after 7 p.m. local time. Rainy Sunday afternoon, the second exhibition against the Hanshin Tigers. The Dodgers beat the Yomiuri Giants last night 5-1. They trail Hanshin here as we get into the last few innings. They have 4, 5, and 6 due up. Facing a new pitcher, Hidetaka Okodome.
New first baseman as well. I'll let you give the fans that name there, Nelly.
You don't want to try?
No.
Taketera.
Taketera.
Nailed it, dude. Two balls and a strike on Teo.
Been hanging around you. The Japanese influence these last 3 days is rubbed off.
Onodera now in right field as well. So both teams here in the latter stages going to their benches. Some exhibition work.
See Max Muncy on deck. He had 9 innings last night too. You wonder if he's going to get another 9 this afternoon.
I mean, yeah, barring a surprise appearance from Mookie Betts, I think that's what we're getting from
He
that.
has to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could put Kike over there at third, right?
And then put Fiducia in the field. Yeah, I guess you could. Wait. Actually, I don't think you can. Exhibition for us too. Eighth pitch to Teoscar Hernandez. A piece of it on a check swing.
Everybody used, huh?
You know what? I know. Teoscar Hernandez pushed the fly ball right field, tailing toward the line, and it's run down by Onodera.
I was just saying Muncy wasn't going to play another 9 at third.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. We also, you know what? Kirsten can come off the bench. Get some work in, Kirsten.
I'll be honest. I was squatting over here just trying to do some interviews so I can get a few guys, and my knee's already hurt. So
that's it. All right, so that's a negative. Okay. Max struck out in the second, base hit in the fifth. promptly taken off the bases by a double play.
So what, the Dodgers, they have that dinner tonight, and tomorrow an optional workout probably, and opportunity to, hopefully the weather gets a little better, an opportunity to go explore.
Muncy down swinging. And then it's a couple game days and fly
And then
home.
you've got, yeah. You see that thing on the, I think it was on Instagram, Kike walking down the streets. He's got the bags of, you know, gifts that he's bought, and then there's a whole bunch of people following him behind. It's kind of like the Pied Piper.
Yeah. he had a special event the other day, and the crowds were pretty nuts.
Oh yeah.
And I think it kind of caught Kike by surprise a little bit. How many fans and people were there to cheer for him and support him?
Well, Anthony Bonda mentioned it yesterday, you know, during his interview, that he said that, you know, ideally he'd like to spend the rest of his career in the big leagues, but, you know, he would welcome an opportunity to play in Japan.
Yeah, he said he wants an overseas experience. Well, Muncy and Kike back-to-back punch-outs, and the seventh still nothing for the Dodgers. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. The Smash Jack is back with no munch, more beef. We're back at the Tokyo Dome. The Dodgers' second and final exhibition game for the Tokyo series. They trail the Hanshin Tigers 3-0. You mentioned yesterday they beat the Yomiuri Giants, the NPB's New York Yankees. The Tigers, basically Japan's Boston Red Sox. And part of that, there's a curse in this franchise's history. The Red Sox, of course, there's the curse of the Bambino. For the Hanshin Tigers, it was the curse of the Colonel, EK. So this was a team that fell into a period of mediocrity after winning pennants in the early 60s. But in 1985, they won it all for the first time in 21 years. And that was on the backs of a former big leaguer named Randy Bass, who had 54 home runs that season. It was one shy of Sadaharu Oh's single season record in NPB. So Afterwards, celebration gets underway, and as we see in any sport, championship celebrations, things can get out of hand pretty quick. Folks overindulge and then they overdo it. So the story goes that fans of the Hanshin Tigers had gathered outside the Totombori Canal, and they start singing the chants for all the players who just helped win the Japan Series for Hanshin. And then they get to Bass, who was the Central League MVP this year. Well, no local looked like the big burly American in Randy Bass. So the local fans went to a nearby Kentucky Fried Chicken. And again, they had had a few, and they wrestled the Colonel Sanders statue from the staff, and they tossed it into the canal. Okay, so the statue sinks to the canal. From that point forward, there were injuries, there were losses, they had bunch of misfortune. For example, they lost 12 straight NPB draft first round lotteries that included talents like Hideo Nomo, Hideki Matsui, Yusei Kikuchi. So in 2023, the Tigers, finally end their Japan Series drought, and they break the curse of the Colonel. And they did it by beating a 3-time reigning Central League MVP by the name of Yoshinobu Yamamoto in a 7-game Japan Series with the help of another American former big leaguer, and it was a former Dodger, Sheldon Neuse, with a big home run against Yamamoto in Game 6, and then broke a scoreless tie in Game 7. En route to the decisive victory for Hanshin. So that ended the curse of the Colonel.
That sounds more legit, right? The curse of the Colonel.
Yeah.
You can't really call it the chicken curse or the Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I think they're trying to match the curse of the Bambino. Oh, we got the Colonel. Good fastball from Glasnow in the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So base for Sakaeda, came in as a pinch runner. Now in scoring position. The Tigers trying to extend this lead in the bottom of the 7th. Shimada grounds it to second base, advances the runner to third. Now 2 outs in the 7th inning. Glasnow, this inning doesn't matter left-handed batter, right-handed batter. Him getting them inside, right on the corners too.
Hey, Glass has so much movement on his pitches sometimes. You know, last year at a certain point, they would literally just set up right down the middle of the plate and just let his movement work. You know, instead of trying to hit a glove side or arm side pitch, and then it would run off the plate. It just, hey, look, set up down the middle and let me go there.
Hmm. 98 at the knees by. Another K for Glass now. His fourth in 2 innings of work.
To Dodger Stadium Monday, March 31st, when the Dodgers host the Braves. The first 40,000 in attendance will receive an adult Dodgers hoodie, courtesy of Bank of America. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Austin Barnes, Chris Taylor, and Andy Pages for the Dodgers in the top of the 8th inning, needing 3 runs to tie the Hanshin Tigers in this exhibition game. New pitcher for the Tigers, lefty Takuma Kirishiki. And Austin Barnes says hello with the base hit to left field. The topic for us yesterday, you know, Barnes and how he's been swinging the bat this spring. And he's gotten in there.
He's really done a nice job at spraying the ball all around the field, and if he sticks to that, you know, he can be productive. Sometimes he gets into a situation where he's swinging the bat well, and then he wants to pull a few. And I remember a few years ago, beginning of the season, he hit one of the longest home runs of the year at the beginning of the year in Colorado, and got it in him, but much more beneficial for the ball club if he can just shoot the ball all over the park.
He's now 2 for 2 at the plate in 2 exhibition games off the bench. On for Chris Taylor. CT familiar with playing in the Tokyo Dome. And that Dodger uniform, along with Kike Hernandez in the Japan All-Star Series. Gosh, 6 years ago now. He's through, strike 2. Kirby Yates was on that team as well, then a member of the San Diego Padres. Taylor on the ground to short. Kinami gets it to second, and they turn 2.
Tell you what, that's the third double play I've seen here in 2 ball games. Turned by the Japanese ball clubs. Not easy, but perfectly executed. She just smothers the ball right there. Able to corral and makes a good feed to the second baseman. CT hit that ball so hard.
Second double play of the game for the Dodgers, and both followed a leadoff single. So this Hanshin pitching staff has been outstanding against the Cubs and the Dodgers. And some help from their defense behind them.
Well, Dodgers only 1 at bat today with runner in scoring position.
Pages pushes one the other way, but it'll tail over to Onodera. All right, that gets us to the bottom of the 8th inning. Tigers 3, Dodgers nothing. Grab a can, bottle, magazine, newspaper, grocery, anything with Shohei Ohtani's face on it, and join us for the bottom of the 8th inning. Dodgers trailing the Hanshin Tigers 3-0. There will be a bottom of the 9th inning played this afternoon in Tokyo, regardless of the score. We think in part because Tyler Glasnow can get 4 innings of work in this exhibition. So even if the Dodgers are still behind on the scoreboard, we'll see Glasnow for a couple more innings.
And it's much the same reason we saw Snell go out for that inning after he'd thrown over 30 pitches. You just want to have them sit down in the dugout and then go back out and throw.
Nearly halfway into the 10 p.m. hour back in Los Angeles. You don't have to go straight to bed after the top of the 9th inning.
Well, Nelly, let me check on that world clock.
Yes,
You're right.
got it handy.
22. Yeah. You showed me that on the phone. I was real excited about that.
Swing, he didn't go, so 2 balls, 2 strikes for Glasnow against Teruaki Sato, who has right now the biggest swing of the game. A 3-run homer off Blake Snell in the bottom of the 4th inning. There's Muncy. Got the out, but perhaps not the way he wanted to execute.
Well, the ball was squared up. I mean, it was 109 off the bat. Probably not. You know, again, you can get outs, but if it's hard contact, it's basically you got the out because I'm not going to say it's because of luck, but it was hit at somebody,
Position.
right? And as a pitcher, you would much rather give up weak contact because over the long haul, that's going to play. So I think that's probably what he was a little flustered about.
Three pitches, 3 strikes, and a second out for Glasnow in the 8th. It's now 13 for the Dodgers staff today between Snell, Sauer, and now Glasnow.
Yeah, a lot of swing and miss today.
I mean, really, this weekend, 17 innings. The staff, giving up runs in just 2 of those 17 innings. The issue is today they run into a staff that in 17 innings they've given up no runs and just 6 hits. Made him jump back with a fastball at the knees. A couple more strikeouts for Glasnow. He'll have another inning of work in the 9th inning. That's where we're going next. Dodgers trailing the Hanshin Tigers 3-0 down to the last 3 outs of offense. Again, they will let Tyler Glasnow pitch some more in the bottom of the 9th regardless. Just saw a shot of the oldest temple in Tokyo, Sensoji in Asakusa. Be the top of the order for the Dodgers. In the top of the 9th, Fedusha. Good pinch hit for Shohei Ohtani back in the 6th inning, struck out. Tommy Edman and Freddie Freeman. Daichi Ishii, 5'8", 178-pound right-hander now in the game, 27-year-old. Been with the team for this will be his 5th season. He's entering in 2025.
The next batter.
He's got strikeout stuff. Last year, 48 2/3 innings, had 58 punch-outs. 0.7 K per 9.
I feel like every pitcher over here throws a splitter, right? I mean, I know that that's. You go back to the Nomo days, but it's interesting because if you're, you know, we saw Kirby Yates come in here and throw last night. He got hit a little bit, you know, but he relies a lot on the splitter. And you figure these guys see that pitch just time after time after time.
So I asked Kirby today as we were riding in with him on the bus. It's like, you know, given where he's at in his pro career and how much he's accomplished, he's, you know, obviously no stranger to success in the major leagues. With the splitter being his pitch, going back to the end of 2017, really 2018, when he felt fully confident with it. Fedusha down swinging, route number 1 of the 9th inning. It's like, hey, when you're over here in Japan, and especially, you know, now you got Shohei and Yama and Oki on the same team, do you pick anybody's brain with a splitter? He's like, not really, because I know what works for me, but I do always ask to see how they hold me. He's like, especially Udoki, because he's like that split fork, but whatever you want to call it, is a unicorn type pitch, just to see how he holds it.
I feel like it's irrelevant how he holds it because he throws it so hard. I mean, right, the velocity on that thing. But just, you know, last night with Togo, he threw the splitter. Saiki.
Yeah, I mean, it's
everybody, like, that is in everybody's arsenal, where you look at a big league staff and you might have a handful, maybe 1 or 2.
I feel like it's coming back a little bit more, right, in recent years, but yet certainly not to the degree which it's seen in MPB. Tommy Edman. In the air, right center field. 2 out. Dodgers down to the last out. Not the last out of the game. Again, if you want to continue to watch Tyler Glasnow pitch, stick around for the bottom of the 9th inning. Prearranged setup for this exhibition game. Let's see if James can start a 2-out rally. back to last year's team, World Series Team EK. Comeback wins were a big part of the season, and 2 out runs, especially the second half of the season. Second most 2 out runs in baseball after the All-Star break.
There was. Was that splitter right there? Oh, yeah, Rick, splitter. Always felt like that was a right-handed pitcher throwing to a left-handed hitter. That pitch was just deadly. Lefties had so much trouble trying to stay on that.
Went to the fastball and absolutely painted it. So Ishii, the 1-2-3 ninth inning that locks up the win for Hanshin, but not the game. Tyler Glasnow still working. More baseball at the Tokyo Dome. The Hanshin Tigers shut out the Dodgers 3-0. 18 innings for Hanshin in 2 exhibition games against the Cubs and Dodgers. They win both games in 3-0 shutout fashion. There have been a lot of punch outs today between these two teams. The Dodgers staff has struck out 14, and Tyler Glasnow's back out there, so probably some more coming. And the Dodgers at the plate struck out a dozen times against the Tigers staff. But Yuji Fujikawa, the manager of the Tigers, has to be pleased with where his team is at as they get close to wrapping up spring.
Yeah, certainly the pitching looked good. Got that big home run. Defense has been solid. And even though it's an exhibition game, you're playing the Los Angeles Dodgers, a world championship ball club, a team that many picked to win it again this year.
And the Cubs, I mean, that's 2 blue chip franchises, right? Like,
I'm not sure the Cubs are winning a World Series, though, right? Like, I mean, they're
but from
historically, yeah.
Fujikawa, 17 seasons he pitched for the Tigers. 5-time All-Star as a closer. So won a World Baseball Classic at the helm of Samurai Japan, both in, excuse me, on Samurai Japan in 2006 and 2009.
can promise you, these guys are going to be like, as far as the story goes, we beat the Los Angeles Dodgers. That's. I do agree. They weren't a left-handed hitter hitting a home run off of Blake Snell. Like I said, that just doesn't happen. Face Snell and Glass now. Man.
Ramon Hernandez off the bench facing Tyler Glass now, and about how you'd expect. One more out to go in the Dodgers exhibition slate. That is until they return from the Tokyo series to play the Angels for 3.
Cubs come right in and play Giants right after this, right? Clear the stadium and another ball game. You gonna stick around and watch that in LA, or are you gonna?
We'll go see some family.
Okay, hey, family here. Of course you do.
Hopefully when we get outside the dome, we'll see that the rain is let up a little bit. See? Apparently not. Obviously today's exhibition certainly more palatable from a first pitch standpoint, the time difference between Tokyo and Los Angeles, but hope these last couple days have helped y'all adjust the body clocks a little bit ahead of Tuesday and Wednesday. We certainly appreciate everybody staying up and fighting off the sleep for however much time. As the anticipation is continued to build here in Tokyo for the Dodgers and Cubs. The 3-2 from Glass now. Did he go? No, we did not. So a 2-out walk. We stay here a little bit longer. Tip of the cap to our Dr. Rick Rajewski, Craig Nordquist, Jason Kostry of the Japan Times, Yuri Karasawa, Yaku Cosmopolitan helping us get ready for these exhibition games against these two storied NPB franchises, Yomiuri and Hanshin.
You and I will be back together for that Freeway Series.
Yep. Joe will be sitting next to you here for the 2 games against the Cubs. Kirsten, move over. I'm sitting next to you for those games down on the field. Bounce to the left side. I know. So Obata was booking it down that first base line. So some more work for Glass now, approaching 60 pitches.
Yeah, from the left side, he's sniffing a hit. You know, he got out of the box quick. And again, if you're the Dodgers, you don't have scouting reports. You just assume that ground ball, and the guy's not going to be running like heck to get down to first. I mean, this is just a for fun inning, right?
No.
Count on your stats.
It's just got squeezed at the top of the zone. I feel like the universe is telling us that scene from A Bronx Tale. Now you just can't leave. We're just going to be in the Tokyo Dome for. Oh boy. Yeah. Walk. Give way a little bit. All right, so it changes the situational work for Glass. Second and third, 2 out. First base open. Yanked down and in, ball 4, bases loaded.
I like this, so Mark Pryor coming out just to give him a little breather and the Glass catch his breath and just settle down and just start over here. Just need to get 1 out, forget all the people on base. I'm not sure that was exactly the conversation, but that's what it sounds.
Yeah.
Sounds good to tell it like that, right?
Yeah, let's go with that. After the visit, a couple good pitches from Tyler Glass now. So it's 0-2. One more strike. One more out. Let's get to the bag. Kike does. Wins the foot race with a slide. And so the full 9 complete at the Tokyo Dome. And the exhibition slate ahead of the Tokyo Series complete as well. The Dodgers split their 2 games. The Tigers win them both in 3-0 shutout fashion. So again, you got a day and a half to get some rest, and we'll see you bright and early Tuesday and Wednesday for the Tokyo Series against the Chicago Cubs. On behalf of Eric Harris and Kirsten Watson, I'm Stephen Nelson. We'll see you then.